Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing casinos yet again. We've been discussing this a little bit here recently as this discussion is in Parliament at the moment, and we're seeing a lot of political discourse on the whole issue generally. I've made a number of videos on this. For those who are unaware, I do have a background in the gaming industry. I worked in the gaming industry all through law school. I probably would have remained in the gaming industry had I stayed in the United States. So I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from the Bangkok Post. It's bangkokpost.com. Article is titled, "Casino Report Wins Cabinet Endorsement." A special House committee report on legalizing entertainment complexes with casinos in Thailand was endorsed by the cabinet on Tuesday. The Ministry of Finance was also assigned to conduct an additional study on the feasibility of the investment, which must be done within 30 days. So let's be clear what's going on here. They've endorsed a report on how, sort of the feasibility study, the impact assessment, all of that stuff. We're not at the point now where we've endorsed any legislation which would create this new complex. They're just basically still talking about it, is basically the way to look at it. And as you can see, there's then another feasibility of the investment study, which has to be done over the course of the next month. So again, I don't think you should presume, or anybody watching this should presume, that we're going to see casinos up in Thailand, in the next, even within this year. This could take years. The point I'm trying to make with that is, we're only at the beginning of this. I suspect there's going to be counterpoint with folks, as we'll get into here in a moment. I've also made it clear that I think there's more than one way to do this, and it's being framed as if, okay, we'll just have one complex and we'll put in casino there, casino area gambling, and that's the only way out there. Well, as I've said before, I think there's multiple other ways to do this. We've discussed this in the past. That said, it's still evolving, so we'll deal with it as it comes. That said, quoting further, and then it goes on in the article, the group of academics, mainly from Chulalongkorn University, issued a statement warning that legalizing casinos in Thailand could do more harm than good. Quoting further, the academics said they did not agree with the House Committee's claim that legalizing casinos is a part of the government's economic stimulus efforts, saying gambling has never been recognized by economists as a business activity because it does not create any economic products. Yeah, so this is a really good point. I brought this actually up in the context of so-called central bank digital currencies, the so-called digital wallet scheme here in Thailand as it was originally proposed, because there was no economic activity. There was no byproduct of economics being created by that plan. Basically, it was just a plan that would inject essentially currency, digital or otherwise, into the economy and then just move goods around and create taxable events. Casinos are similar. It's a very similar thing. In many ways, from an economic standpoint, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors without any actual value creation. Now, I would also argue that maybe a little bit too simplistic a point, and again, my biases may be on display here because, again, I've worked in the casino industry, I've been in the gaming industry before. There is a value created in the entertainment side. If you look at it as an entertainment enterprise, yes, value is created. People come to that place in order to engage specifically in that kind of activity, to be entertained effectively. Now, that said, as we've discussed in other videos, there can be all kinds of addictions and vice that comes about as legalized gambling comes up, because there are people who really truly can't control themselves when it comes to gambling. So again, you have to look at it in the totality of the circumstances. But to say it's completely without economic product, I don't know that that's exactly a correct statement. Again, if you look at it from an entertainment standpoint, but that said, it really doesn't create new value. There isn't any doubt in my mind about that. Yeah, it's money just moving across a table, and the transactions are then taxed, basically. That's the way to look at it. So interesting here. I think it's really important to take note of the fact that we're not at the end of the road with regard to this whole gambling thing in Thailand, this whole casino idea, and we'll certainly keep you updated on this channel as that situation evolves.